mentoring people. And
yeah, totally.
hello, friends. Happy Friday.
Happy last Friday of the year for us on
Yes.
this little fun shindig we've been doing. I've enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.
I have enjoyed it as well. I hope everyone watching has enjoyed it as well, but we don't get coworkers, so it's nice
True.
to talk with each other, right? Like I tell my husband, he's like, I don't know, what should you do? And I'm like, I don't know, what should I do?
Yeah. He's like, yeah, what are your colleagues doing? What
Right.
colleagues? Like,
Exactly.
this is my colleague right here. She's
I know,
not
I need
telling
one.
me anything.
This is my colleague right here.
Yeah.
Like in the corner.
Yes.
Hello, friends. So as Anna mentioned, hello, you did catch a live. Hello, Kelly is here. Let us know who's here, friends. This is our last live for the year, and then we're taking 3 weeks off for the holidays, for the new year. Anna's moving, maybe.
For our sanity, actually, don't know when I'll be moving. That's a sad story, but I am moving sometime soon, just probably not in January.
Eventually, if it
Maybe February.
So this is a general question and answers. If you guys have questions, we do have a couple things on the agenda that I wanted to talk about. And I think has a couple things as well to chat about. But if you guys have questions, feel free to ask them. If you're new to my channel, I am on Poshmark and eBay. Anna is strictly on eBay. We both spoke at eBay Open. So I think between the two of us, we usually get most questions answered. And if Duncan joins, he can usually answer we can't.
He also likes to ask us questions to bait us to give answers, which is funny.
Yes. I will say, friends, if you guys did not watch last week's live, definitely go back and check it out because Anna brought up some really good things coming forward with like the eBay or the Germany shipping. There's like a new law in Germany. We're not going to get into it, so go watch the other one. But there's like a new Germany law that we need to kind of be aware of and what eBay's handling with it. And there was something else that was like you brought up that was really
it's just a few of the things that are like, things that the government are proposing to do and stuff that affect us and sort of like what eBay is currently saying about those things, because I got to be part of a meeting where we discuss all that stuff. And so I kind of shared the highlights with everybody. And there's a couple things that you can actually go and do to take action that's like really easy and simple. If you want to get involved at all and sort of make your voice heard as a small business owner and a reseller, like, we all got to help each other. So it's just ways for you guys to participate and do that.
Yes. And I will say neither one of us work for eBay, although I have the bag on today because the shirt's so comfortable. But eBay does do, because there are a lot of like laws and rules that will impact us as sellers. And like we can't each individually go to the Washington, D.C. and rally and what's the right word? Lobby.
Yeah.
So eBay does it on our behalf, but they do ask for support for us. So we talked all about that last week. It was a very informational video. Duncan's asking for any book recommendations, and I know what he's getting at. Anna does have a book. So definitely check it out. It should be linked down below. It's on eBay and on Amazon. Amazing, amazing book.
It is.
Thank you. Then Duncan is also asking, how many items did you sell in 2022 on eBay altogether?
Ooh.
That's a good question, Duncan. Let me look. It's not over yet.
Yeah. As I'm saying, I haven't looked at my dashboard, but I do have my own spreadsheet, which is easier for me to look at.
Yes. On eBay alone. I'm going to say all because I don't have that pulled up.
Mine is on eBay alone for sure. But I would say, though, just off the top, Duncan, yes, 4,200 is good. Especially if you made profit on all 4,200 of those items, even better.
And he doesn't source any of them, which is the best part.
Really? That's interesting.
He has a sorcerer.
Oh, that's amazing. A sorcerer.
I know. I always think of that. That's my goal. That's one of my goals next year. So we are going to be, that's one of my agenda things. We can get into it in a minute. I can't look at just eBay. I can tell you my total. So far I'm at 2,915. That's between Poshmark and eBay. I'd have to like go through and spend too much time for a live to tell you, but
mine are all eBay, but I'm at 3,760 for the year. So hopefully we'll probably cross 4,000 probably by the end of the year. So
because you're crushing it this month, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I am like, it's semi-liquidation mode. So I'm definitely letting some stuff go for lower than I want, but we're moving stuff out the door, and that is definitely one of the top goals. So
Do you think, I was thinking about this, do you think when you get all settled, will you change it a little bit, or will you still try and keep like a steady flow? And
yeah, so I mean, that's perfect to the conversation too, because everything that we do in our stores has a slow trickle effect. Some things we can do and affect change faster, but a lot of things that we do are like, we're going to be seeing the effects of that trickling through, the following 6 months or more. And so I'm trying to think about that now, because I'm like, what do I want my life to be like when I get there? Right now it's kind of like a double whammy for me to semi-liquidate, because I will have fewer things to move that will directly impact the cost of moving, which is going to be a huge expense. And then also it's like, just moving and like having a new house that I want to furnish with new stuff in some cases, or it'll be a bigger house. So we'll have more rooms than we had before that don't have any things to go in them and stuff like that. And, I'm just trying to like squeeze out as much money from my store as I can reasonably do before that. So it's kind of like helping me in both ways. But once I get there, I may not have such a need to try to squeeze out extra money, and my
kind of nice to have it. Instead of like sitting on the inventory. I don't know, 'cause I'm kind of headed like in talking with you and just having goals for myself for this year and knowing that it's getting harder and harder to resell. I'm kind of like in this, I would rather just sell it and not like, maybe if I held on to it, I can make $5 more. But I would rather just, but we're in very different realms, because you're set, you have to have the right buyer.
But also it's like, all of that stuff, like I'm not going to like revert back to like, well, now I'm going to try and wait for the topmost dollar necessarily, except like I'll probably slow it down in some ways, like have a little bit longer of a handling time so that it's not as much pressure on me. And I am going to not sell stuff for like the lowest I'll take, because, I do want to maximize that. But at the same time, my overall strategy with my inventory is going to be to source higher dollar inventory. So like, hopefully that can sort of dovetail together, and I won't be like making a lot less money over time, but I will not be in like semi-liquidation mode anymore. So it'll be interesting to see how those things kind of offset each other. Because here's the other thing, which I do talk about this in my book, so plug that or whatever. But I'm a creative person. We're all creative. I believe that. Actually, creativity is 99% about problem solving, and then there's also like art, which is like a different kind of creativity, but we at least all have the problem solving kind.
That's interesting that you say that, because I'm creative in the problem solving, obviously math.
Yes.
But like my 8-year-old can draw significantly better than I.
And like seriously, people think they're not creative, and it's just not true. You're inherently creative. Like a lot of the like psychological studies and stuff about creativity, how do they measure creativity in those studies? It's like, unique, like number of unique solutions that you came up with in a time frame or something like that. It's not like who made the prettiest picture. Not to like discount the prettiest picture. I'm a musician and I care a lot about art, like a lot. But the point is, I sort of have both sides of creativity. That's what makes me come alive. That's what I love. And even like as a therapist in my career before being a reseller, like there's so much creativity in that. And I love that too. But for me, I know that the miscellaneous, nature of my store really does mirror the miscellaneous nature of my life. So I have these other like projects, other irons in the fire, other income streams that are related to creative stuff that I really want to focus on once I get there too. Like once we get to the next place, and let my store be more on like autopilot in the background, and not totally in the background, but like, I want to continue to streamline it and continue to make my inventory better so that I can spend less time on it, continue making the money I'm making, and get these other things off the ground. So
it's kind of funny that you say this, because we're in similar so we've kind of headed into our goals for 2023 without actually like formally saying it. But I'm kind of in the same part. Like I like reselling, and I've gotten it to like a consistent place, and we can always fine tune things. And I think for me and a lot of different resellers, depending on the niches that you're in, it's going to be hard next year, because people, thrift stores are charging a lot more and people are wanting to pay a lot less. We're going into reset, like all of these different things. So I'm going to have to like problem solve with that a little bit, but I'm not in like most growth anymore. Right. I want to have it where, and I was actually thinking today, like, how many hours do I actually want to spend on reselling? Like,
Yeah.
as far as my reselling business, my other avenue is, I was telling you before, I was working on spreadsheets, and I did an eBay store review with someone this morning, and teaching, and like that's what's kind of bringing me alive right now.
Right.
But I want, like, it's nice to like have it on autopilot and just go down and ship 10 items and be like, oh, I just made $300, right? Like,
Right. Well, and it also keeps you relevant. Like,
yeah.
there's little stuff changing constantly about the platforms that you're on. And like, you know, I think that's a good way to stay in touch so long as the time that you are spending on, even if it's more part-time than it is, in the future than it is now, like it's still like kind of integral to your credibility and what you're doing. I mean, you know what you're doing, but like
No, but if I don't if
stay
I don't
relevant.
resell anymore, like, if I didn't resell for 6 months, I couldn't teach it because eBay would have, like, 3 updates. Poshmark would do who knows what Poshmark.
Right.
Like, I
Right.
took the summer off, and I didn't get on social media for reselling really, and I came back, and I was like,
What's going on?
I was like, "Poshmark did what? And eBay has what updates? And, like, this and that," and so, yeah, I think it helps keep me in it, but I kinda want it more on autopilot so that I can work on other parts. And for me, it's other parts of my reselling business, but for you, it's like other parts of your entire life and more time. So I mentioned this last week too. I sat down like in January. I don't really believe in like New Year's resolutions because it's just 1 month after December, right?
Right.
And then like in February, I make new goals because it's 1 month after. So but I think towards the end of the year, you do start to think about like what you want next year to look like. And so
Yeah.
I'm making a list of like all the things that make me happy, all the things that I'm, like, impartial to, like, I could do them, I could, like, live without them,
Yeah.
and all the things that I absolutely hate. And personally and in my reselling business, and I'm like, "Okay, how do I make this work personally?" And I love reading books, and I have a hard time finding making the time a priority, um, and
Yes.
so, like, getting some of the reselling right? Because when you're reselling, you're always when you have your own business in your house, you have to consciously step away from it.
Yes.
And so I think trying to make more of an effort to do that
Yeah.
and walk away from the reselling business to do other
Well,
things and have hobbies.
yeah, and like so many tasks are like laundry, like they're never really done. And so you could keep working forever. Like you really could. You have to have really good boundaries with yourself, but yeah, it's also like helpful I think to have like you are specifying what it is that you want to be able to do at that time. So like if it's hard for you to like redirect or like cut yourself off, you're like, but I'm doing this for a specific reason so that I can go read this book, which is like my goal. Like I think
Well,
having that specificity really helps.
and having certain goals for me too, because otherwise you just work, 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 work. Because you can always do more. If you're like, for me, I'm like, okay, I need to get 70 items photographed this week. I need to get 3 YouTube videos done. I need to get like if I have those goals for the week and then they're done, I'm like, yes, I could do another YouTube video. Yes, I could source more. Like you can always do
Yeah.
more things. But if I have those things done, then I'm like, okay, I feel okay taking a step away and going and doing them. Let us know, guys, in the chat. I know we're still a couple of weeks out. We're done with our lives until January, so we're talking about it now. But if you guys have started thinking about your New Year's goals that you want to do, if y'all checked out, I think it was released yesterday or sometime this week. We talked about it in my live how my 500 items were lost. I did a video because I found them all. Actually, not a
Yay!
97 of them. I have no like I don't physically have them. My only guess is that they sold and didn't get updated, and I can't go far enough back
Mhm.
data. Although they've updated that a little bit, but I still don't think it's far enough. So I have
Yeah.
to look into that. That's one of my things in the new year is trying to find a better process so that I'm not that far off like
Yeah.
items. So let us know in the chat what you guys are working on. What are your goals? We kind of chatted about it a little bit, but do you have other things going into the new year? Or are you just trying to survive for your move?
Yeah, I am trying to survive. I mean, at least the like trying to wrap my mind around moving my whole store 600 miles away is it's made me think about some stuff which I've been wanting to sort of sit down and evaluate anyway. Like what are the things that I can still streamline? Like good questions like what you're asking, like how do I want the way I run my business to differ like once I get all set up there? And like by virtue of the change in situation when I move, like some things are going to kind of take care of themselves inherently in that process. But I also think like this year I haven't been as disciplined about like trying to streamline something else on a regular basis. It's just like when something is a problem that's screaming loud enough at me, I'm like, okay, it's time to address that, you know?
Yeah,
And
like when you lose 500 items. It's been
yes.
on my agenda all of last year to reconcile my inventory.
Yeah.
And then finally I was like, oh crap, there's 500 missing. I have to sit down and do this now.
Yes. And like such is life as a reseller slash small business owner in general, right? But I do think if I can sort of like take care of some stuff, you know, just even simple stuff. Like right now, my setup for my inventory storage is I have 3 different storage units, and one of them, all of the bins are in sequential order. The other one, they are not in sequential order, but they're like loosely in order, kinda. And like there, when I get there, all of everything will all be in one place, so they can literally be in exact numerical order, and that will save me a little bit of time. That will be great, you know. But so there's some stuff like that I'm like, I just haven't fixed it because I'm not going to be in this situation that much longer, you know. But I want to like really make a point
you can get away with not fixing it because you're like, oh, it's only 2 minutes now. It's only 2 minutes now. And it would take you probably an entire day to move all 3 of them.
Yes.
Where if you're forced to move, like I'm in a similar situation. You can see these are like my overflow bins. There's probably 15 of them up here that don't fit downstairs, but they're not in order. They're like random ones up here. And so I'm going through and shipping, I have to be like, oh crap, that bin's upstairs, and then run upstairs and then be like, oh, like where if I knew like all of my A's were up here, then I would just know, like, look, before I go downstairs to ship.
Yes.
Right. But I haven't made it.
Even that's like an extra step, you know, like which you can, once you build that step in, it is faster than it is now, but it still could be a little better. So like, I want to be in a place where I'm every month when I sort of like make my new sheet, like when I do my numbers and stuff in my solds page and my own little spreadsheets, like I do everything by the month. And so when I'm doing that, I want to be also looking back at like, okay, what is like, where's a rub that I can try to streamline this month? Like just one thing, even if it's really simple, even if it takes me 30 minutes out of the whole month to like put something in place that streamlines it. Like I want to be a little more aware of that and keep improving my processes on like a kind of a disciplined basis like that, instead of just responding and reacting, you know.
And which is such a hard thing to do because so last year before we knew each other, like 2021, I spent the entire year like improving my processes and getting down to where it took me like 2 minutes to take photos and to, like just timing myself. And since then I haven't wanted to do anything because you don't see like a direct impact. Like my returns process is not a process. It's chaos.
Yeah.
And it's been on my agenda all year to be like, I need to come up with like a process. So it's not like this big every 6 months, my thing is like overflowing and I can't find an item. And
looking at mine right now, overflowing.
Yes. So
deferred maintenance. Yeah.
If you come up with a returns process or anyone has one, I did start putting them in order at least because I used to just throw them in. So now they're at least in like order of like what bins they will go in. So when I put them away, or when I have an item that sold that was a return, it's easy for me to find it instead of like going through all of them.
Yeah, I think the thing that I do is like it works pretty well. And I normally am just like, oh, well, whenever this little temporary bin is full, then I like convert it to the real, you know, make it a real bin basically. But then I have to go like find each thing in the spreadsheet, put the new bin number, which really, it doesn't take that long, but I really don't do it unless the bin is full. So if I don't have a lot of returns, then it's like, oh, some of this stuff might have been in here for 2 months. And like, it's just still, you know, like I should probably like clear it out whether it's full or not, like at the end of every month.
Oh, well, mine was full. So then I just got a bigger bin. Like,
yes. Well, yeah, that's what mine is right now. It's like 2 bins basically, because I'm just like, I can't deal with this right now. I've got like 500 things to ship. Like this can wait, you know? And like sometimes it has to be like that, but
it does. All right. So let's get to a few questions. We can come back to this as well. But we do have some people asking some questions in the chat. Okay. Questions 2 to 3 weeks ago, you were talking about ending and selling similar on eBay versus listing and forget. At what point do you relist though?
Well, I think if your listing isn't like high quality enough, you know, like if it's like everything about the listing is amazing and it's just like, you're like me and you're waiting for that one exact person to find it, you know, I don't know that redoing the whole listing is going to change it that much, really. From like a
Selling similar could give it better views.
oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and
Yeah,
she's in like, or who is this? Sorry,
Tommy in Seattle.
I'm blind. I don't have my
No, you're fine. And I know you can't see it.
or whoever is saying, yeah, sell similar. So at what point do you relist?
Or
Like,
sell similar. Yeah.
yeah. So is the question like, is there a point at which you quit selling similar and actually relist it? Or is it like,
Oh, yeah, I
that's
see.
what I thought.
A lot of people say sell
I might
similar and relist like
Right.
interchange. I thought it was like how long, like what time frame before
I
you
see.
similar.
Okay. Well,
Tommy,
let's
if you
answer,
don't answer it correctly, say it again. So we
yes,
understand.
let's answer both. So like
Oh yeah.
the
Okay.
one is, you know, I personally try to keep things, I do sell similar. I don't let items get past 90 days old, and slash when I'm really on top of it, I try not to let them be 30 days old. So those are like the two benchmarks kind of.
Mm.
Um,
Now, where did you come? I know this answer, but where did you come up with this?
I had a growth advisor who does work for eBay who basically told me anything after 30 days, or well, really anything between 30 days and 90 days is stale. Uh-oh, I froze. We all froze.
Oh, I can still. Oh, you're frozen,
Oh,
but I can still hear
okay.
you.
Are we good
I
now?
just wasn't talking. I was writing something down.
Okay. I just saw both of us freeze and I was like, oh no.
Oh
Anyway.
no, I just wasn't talking or
So
moving.
between okay, 0 to 30 days is fresh. Hooray, shiny new listing. 30 days to 90 days is stale, and past 90 days is stagnant. So stagnant is what you want to absolutely avoid. Stale is not great, but it's still not like getting totally buried, probably,
Yeah.
depending on how much competition you have. So for your
Which
item.
is interesting, and I wish that they, one, gave us that metrics because they obviously look at it,
Yeah.
and two, that they told us that, right? Like, you know it from a growth advisor, and I know it from a growth advisor, but the
Right.
only reason that we had growth advisors is I was at eBay Open and you won the grant, right? Like, not everyone has access to that.
Right.
I think everyone should have access. eBay, if you're out there,
Yeah. Well,
I've
and
actually told them directly that I think everyone should have.
yeah. Well, and again, obviously still optional, but like that would be great to have access to it. And like, you know, they can pull all kinds of reports that we can't. And it's
Oh my
really
God, so many.
and like it's good. I mean, it's a lot of information too. So unless you're a data whiz, which most of us are not, you know, it's hard to know what you're looking at exactly, or like what the implications of it are, or what actions are going to remedy what's in there. Like it helps to have an advisor who's actually explaining that to you.
Yes. So I get why they don't put it is all of that information for us all to see.
Yeah.
But I think if you're selling, especially if you get to like a certain point, maybe like the second store or something, like, right, like you get a quarterly growth advisor appointment.
Right.
So I am going to second what Anna said as well as far as sell similar. I only recently did this, so I have done quite a few videos on my findings in doing it and how I decided, and the charts and graphics and all of the stuff to help you guys make these decisions for you. eBay did just come out. I get so excited when they have a new chart. They just came out with a new chart, and you can look at each of your listings traffic. So you can kind of see like if it is starting to, dwindle.
Yeah.
I have gotten to where I think it's at 60 days. Everything's turned over in 60 days. However, we talked last week about doing this during this time of year because I'm getting the same amount of watchers, if not more, on my items. And I'm thinking that people are like saving items to get Christmas money and then come back and buy them. So I used to just all my old items, 25 sell similar. This month I'm only doing oldest items that don't have any watchers. Just because I don't, and then like after Christmas, I'm going to send out like mass coupons and newsletters, and
Yes.
so stay tuned, see if that's the case. As far as like relisting and like auditing your stuff, this is actually one of my goals for the new year. We've been talking about like last month, you inspired me. Last month, you didn't list any new items and you had your best month. And like, you obviously can't keep that up forever. For you, it would probably take a while because you
have for a while. Yeah.
right. But as far as like theory goes, if you're
Right.
selling more items than you're listing, eventually your store is going to be nothing. But
Oh
I
yeah.
would be
sure.
really happy if I could have all my inventory in one place and still make the money that I'm making now.
Yeah.
And get kind of to a place where I'm like a 2,000 store. I'm at like 2,300 now. and selling what I have, right? And for cash flow as well, like I think my margins are they already are. My margins are getting slimmer and slimmer. It's harder to find good items. I'm paying more at thrift stores. People are paying, my average sale price is continuing to decline. And so for my cash flow, if I can sell items that I already have and not list as many new items. And so I think one strategy, and stay tuned because I'll do a video, you guys know I will, on selling similar, but I think right now I just end to end relist it. Sometimes I'll change a price or something, but I really just don't do anything. And I think I'm going to go in, I'm maybe 5 a day, and like actually look at the listing change, like, cause it's been a while, like maybe
Yeah.
comps have changed, or
Right.
maybe I have new knowledge with,
Yeah. Now you can have 24 photos.
yes, I'm not going to take more photos. I won't do that.
That's a lot of work. Yeah, I know.
But I have been going in and changing, because like my photo setup has changed. And so some of the photos aren't great, or even just changing, like this photo looks, moving the order,
Yeah.
or
Picking a different main photo sometimes too, or like cropping something more or whatever.
yes. Yes. So I think that answered both of the questions, but let us
Yeah.
know if we didn't. Um, let's see. Thanks for this conversation. It keeps us company. I'm glad. For those who don't want to see our faces, this conversation is on my podcast as well. So if you want to just listen to it and you don't like have YouTube and you don't want to stream it, they all go up on my podcast as well if you want
Yeah.
to listen.
And if you burn through all of Sarah's podcasts, I also have a podcast that I haven't listed a new episode in a long time, co-hosted with my friend Katie, but it's called the Doing Scary Things podcast. And it really is very inspiring. We talk to people from all kinds of walks of life and talk about our scary thing that we did together, which was writing and recording and releasing music. And it's really cool to hear from all the different people. Like we have everybody from, a single dad to a volcanologist. I don't know if you even know what that is. I didn't.
My
So
8-year-old probably does. What is it?
a volcano scientist, amazing. But everybody has their own challenges and scary things in life that they're pursuing, and it's good, like uplifting stuff to listen to. So if
And
you need
motivation too, right? Like, because
yeah, for
even though
sure.
we're doing something different, I think you could probably learn from like
Oh
other
yeah,
a hard thing.
definitely.
Duncan saying the economy does not seem to affect what I sell, and when in the bad comedy economy, they buy more. Collectors have money in deep pockets. Agreed, and that's where
Become a collector.
yes, of postcard. I think it's postcards or stamps or
Wow,
both. Like it's in that realm, I think.
yeah,
Um,
that's serious.
Yes. And so the recession is going to impact everybody differently. For me, it's
Right.
definitely impacting. Missing listed
Mhm.
items on eBay, sellers should know eBay removes listings without warning. So what should sellers do?
Mm.
So in releasing my video, I've heard from quite a few people, like back to the stale and stagnant.
Mhm.
eBay, after a while, if it's been on there, they just like fall off. I can't get eBay to commit to this. So I'm going to say
You're
it's
like, anecdotally, it seems to
but
be.
it is hearsay, but it's hearsay from quite a few people who have also noticed it. I do have quite a few missing, but I will also say that I didn't monitor and keep track of it. So I can't say if eBay dropped it or if I accidentally ended it or
Right.
if it like, I think a lot of what has happened, and I know there was a glitch in this, like the item sold and then didn't get or got canceled, and then that relisting
Didn't
process.
relist automatically. Yeah.
So that's something
Mhm.
I'm trying to add to my process. You can add that to your process. I feel like if you do the sell similar on a regular basis, that should probably help, because then you don't have stale listings. Everything is new to eBay's. Duncan, everything is new to eBay. My growth advisor said the same thing. Our answer is perfect. Okay, so if you guys do have questions, let us know. Do you have other goals? Do we talk about goals?
I'm gonna look back at our little cheat sheet and see. What
Yeah,
was I
I don't
thinking
remember
about?
what.
Oh, okay, yeah, I think that's pretty good. Another thing that I think you put on here was just like, what do you do when you're just like not about it, and but you have you have to keep going and you're like unmotivated. I mean, holiday is prime time for this. Like my husband John, who's amazing. I love hanging out with him. We enjoy our life together a lot, and he is about to be off work for 16 days. And I guess who's not off work for 16 days? I'm like, I still have to go. Like, of all the times that I don't want to go out into the garage where I am now and ship stuff, it's like he's just like got free time. And I'm like, I gotta go work.
Yes,
So
and it's hard, especially when it's busy, to completely take off reselling. Like,
yep.
the only time I've ever turned it off is when I was at eBay Open.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even turn mine off.
Oh,
They
you
delay
did it.
time.
Yeah, which is basically the same thing, right?
Yeah.
I was turning it off. I've delayed handling time, like, a day or 2 here and there,
Oh
uh,
yeah. Oh, I'll do it for up to 15 days and still sell stuff. But then I just have a
but not at the same.
pile of items to Scrooge McDuck through when I get home. And that's like, it's a lot. Like, I mean, you're making up for it later, definitely. Just deferred.
That's like with any job. Like, when I was in corporate America and you had 2 weeks off it, like, things still kept going, and I'd, like, come back to all kinds of, and my
Yeah.
husband's off for a week, not 16 days, but he's off for a week. But, like, he still monitors his emails because otherwise he comes back to, like, 700 emails, and, like, the first
Yeah.
day is just checking emails that you don't actually need to care about. This was me this week. I am usually a very motivated person.
Yeah.
Even
Same.
my husband was like, because he works from home too, and we go for a walk at lunch, and then I usually like make a shake and go back to work. And this week he's like, "You've been like hanging out with me on lunch." Like, he sits down and he like enjoys it and like gets on TikTok or whatever, reads a book, like whatever his enjoyment is for the hour of off, and I just go straight back to work. Um,
Yeah.
and he was like, "You've been like hanging out with me during lunch. What's going on?"
You're
I
like, I'm procrastinating is what's going on.
I am. It's mostly I don't know. So what I do is like I don't take time off from shipping, especially because it's in my house. Like it takes me
Yeah.
10 minutes to go down. I like this week I only took 50 photos where normally I list 84 a week. So I need 84 a week, but I get so far ahead. Like, that's my saving grace. Last week I listed, and this is probably part of why I'm burnt out, but last week I did photos for 150 items.
Ay.
I know, but, like, and then I just, like, cranked through it, and so then
Yeah.
it allowed
I
me
mean,
this
I
week.
get that. I binge tasks like that too, and I'm like, I'm in the zone. I might as well. Like, I'm enjoying it right now.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
just keep going, and like, it takes more time to set up and get in the zone
Yeah.
until you have to pick up the kids, and then I do have to stop, but, um, it allowed like, getting that far ahead allows me like, I had the kids are off for 2.5 weeks, and I'm taking it off. The only thing I do is I launch drafts every morning in
Yeah.
bed where the kids are before I'm even half awake. It's still, like, dark, and I'm, like, on have my glasses on the
Yeah.
phone, um, and then I ship. So, I'm getting to the point, like, and all of my YouTube videos are filmed for, like, 3 weeks in advance, like,
Oh,
that's
good.
how I take time off, but I wasn't off this week, and I was not motivated.
Yeah. Like, the
That was
thing
my struggle.
is, I was preemptively unmotivated to match my off time that's not started yet. I mean, I've kind of felt like that too because it's just been well, this week we on Sunday night we flew to Illinois to look at this house and walk through it and get inspections. Did not go well at all. And then we were coming home on Tuesday night and our flight got delayed 3 hours and we got home at 2 in the morning on Wednesday. And then I had like 80 things to ship on Wednesday. And it's been like this, you
Oh,
know, pretty terrible cascade effect all week to where like now it's Friday afternoon and we feel like, okay, we're finally kind of on top of everything. And thank God it's a weekend. But also, Christmas is like next week is the week of Christmas. We have family plans and like all this stuff that we're doing. And then the week after that, we're in a wedding. And then we're going to Illinois for a week after that for actual
and
Christmas up
you're
there.
not taking time off? You have to.
Well, I'm taking so like I'm just doing time away, like extending my hand like time with
Yeah.
time away, but I'm leaving it turned on so that people can still purchase stuff.
Mhm.
But I won't actually turn that on officially until like I think Christmas Eve or something. So like next weekend I will, have a little bit of delay and then like the 2 or 3 days after Christmas I'll be shipping a ton. And then my time away will start and I won't ship anything till January 9th.
And then you'll come back to, like, a crap ton of
Yes.
which is
I mean,
good, right? Like, but
hopefully,
then
because it's coming in super close to my goal of 100,000 gross.
and I think that's part of my motivation lack of motivation.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna make it.
yeah,
Um, and so now I'm like, "Well, I'm not gonna make it. F it. I don't care." Like, usually I'm like, "I can hit the goal. I can," and I like, it's not gonna happen. My sales have been fairly consistent.
yeah.
Ish. They're dwindling a little bit, but it's not gonna happen. And I'm so I'm at let me see.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that too, and it's like a bummer because I'm like, I'm gonna be this close. I know I'm gonna be this close.
You'll
Whether I make it or don't make it, it's gonna be by this much. So I'm just like, meh, I don't know. Like, I feel like I've pushed all my levers as far as I can push them, and now it's just like up to fate, But
You'll make it though, because you're killing it this month. Like I'm not. Mine's like a fairly
yeah,
average month, but I had to have a killer month, and it's not.
I had a killer month last month, and then this month so far has been even more killer, but I don't know how that's going to slow down once things can't arrive for Christmas anymore. Like the
But
last
it's till
whole
the
week.
it's till the 17th.
True, but
Oh,
that's
that's
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
So I don't know. It's like if things actually hold at this level, then yeah, we'll
No,
make
but then you get like in years past, I usually get an after Christmas bump.
yeah.
And I'm gonna like push it hard. I'm not gonna hit my goal. I'm at 92,000 right now. I'm gonna be so
Fine.
friends, we're rounding up. I'm just letting y'all know.
Round
Like
it up.
we're rounding up. 9,500 gets rounded or 95,000 gets rounded up. So if I can get it to there, then we're 90 rounds up. Anything 50,000 to 100,000 gets rounded up.
You're like, we're rounding to the nearest 100. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
We have a couple questions coming in. So question, when you put your eBay store on vacation, how do you handle Wait, I'm gonna
Oh,
go. There was a question before that, and I don't want to forget it.
okay.
Would you recommend Poshmark over eBay to sell clothing? Mostly used, vintage, some new with tag. I'm just getting started in Canada. I love
Ooh,
the channel. So I'm gonna answer this question. You
please do. I
can
have no opinion.
So I started. I think it depends on what you want. My eBay is absolutely significantly better than my Poshmark. My average sale price is higher there. My volume is higher there. It's about 2 to 4 times the gross revenue, depending on the month and what's going on. So from that perspective, eBay is killer. It has a higher there's more buyers, there's more analytics and tools and store features that you can use, international, right? So all of that. From a just getting started standpoint, though, I did start on Poshmark because Poshmark is significantly easier. It took me about 8 months of being very, very consistent on eBay for me to get more sales on eBay than on Poshmark. On Poshmark, within the first month, I was making fairly consistent-ish Poshmark consistent type sales because as long as you're sharing your items and you know how to list, their listings really, really easy. You don't have to know how to ship. You don't like it's really easy. So if you're just wanting to get started and not, it kind of depends on what you want, I guess. Clothing for me sells way better on eBay, but it's a higher learning curve. And if you make a hiccup or two on Poshmark, you don't get dings, you don't
There's
get in
really not
trouble.
consequences. Yeah.
Right. And on eBay, if you get started and you start on the wrong foot, it could impact
Yeah.
your eBay for a while. So I think it probably just depends.
I wonder, I'm not trying to give you jobs, Sarah, but I wonder if if you were to like build a course or something that was like, here's how to get started on eBay with clothing, but not like fall into those pitfalls to, avoid getting like off to a bad start. I feel like there's so many like little things and
But that's kind of hard, like, because then it always changes. And I don't know. Because my husband's told me that too. He's like, you need to capture, like, you need to make content for the new people. Like, here's how you make a listing.
yeah.
And I'm like, "But I don't list. I
Well,
don't know.
eBay does have a huge arsenal of their, information straight from the horse's mouth about that stuff. I think
Right.
people just don't know about it. And it's like, it's a lot. Like, it's kind of tedious, but I mean, it's like produced, it's high production value. Like,
So they have so what Anna's talking about is they have a seller school. So if you're new to eBay, they
Mhm.
have a whole seller school. It's free, but it's very
Yeah,
comprehensive. But they will tell you all of the things and walk you through it.
yes.
So
But
maybe I just
it's like modules,
Mhm.
videos for each little task that you could possibly have questions about. But, then there's sort of the anecdotal, like word on the street stuff from like being a reseller. That's like, what's it like selling in this category? And like, what are the things that you're seeing in like real time? That's why you do stuff like this. Cause it's like, this is relevant literally right now. Cause we're all in it right now.
and
So,
tips that they don't necessarily tell you or workarounds and stuff.
right.
But on that note, what my big overarching goal for next year, like we said, is to do more stuff like that. So keep those coming. If you guys have, I love building spreadsheets. Can I show you my new spreadsheet?
Please.
It goes on
I should never ask.
My husband does spreadsheets for a living too. So this aspect he actually does help me with. That's what we were working on a spreadsheet. That's why I was a couple of minutes late. Share my screen. So I kind of touched on it. It's not for sale yet, so you guys can't buy it. It's going to be for sale like I think next week because I have to do a couple like graphics and stuff. But you guys get first. Let me see. Let me stop talking so I can show you. All right, that's that. Let's look. Oh, I don't have it up. There it is. Okay. Okay, so it's a golden formula for resellers, but then I made a platinum formula for resellers. So now we can start looking at our net revenue.
Platinum formula.
Yeah, so it's not just your gross. You can start looking at like what your net impact. And then this is so like one of my viewers, shout out, you know who you are, was like, you should do like a listing template. So now it will automatically populate what your goal is based off of all of your numbers in your platinum formula.
Wow.
You can update it in here and it'll like say, oh, you didn't make how many listings you did. You could print it out too, because I know not everybody wants to do a spreadsheet. But then also, like we were talking, like doing a reflection, like what did I do this week? How can I improve? What can I do better? And I'm going to start in January, like some listing groups and like listing, what do you call it? Like, I don't know what the right word is. But just where people like we can have listing. What is the right word? They do people do
like
that.
A list party?
Yeah, well, or like a listing goal, like we like have a accountability type of group.
A challenge.
Yes, a challenge. Thank you. I've never really done a listing challenge because y'all know me and I don't promote listing. But this is giving you a listing goal based off of your numbers.
Yeah. Well, and if you're building, it's a lot more relevant. Like you're not just in maintenance mode. By the way, speaking of that, I have not listed anything in December either. So literally haven't listed anything since October, just so you know.
Are you not listing until you move? Like intentionally or just
that is correct.
Well, you have stuff to like, are you not sourcing either? Like you don't have anything to list?
I have a little bit. I won't call it a death pile. It's really because I deferred finishing it on purpose because of just the circumstances around moving. But I will start listing again once I get kind of set up there. Right now, I just needed to kind of like pare down the tasks that I'm doing every week to mostly only shipping and like admin. And even my wonderful sister-in-law, Amanda, who works for me, she's kind of been like taking a holiday, not doing too much either, like because she just wants to, and it's a flexible job. So like, I'm like, that works for me. Like, you know, so she's got some stuff that she could be photographing and stuff whenever she wants to get back into it. But there's really no hurry because that hasn't impacted my sales seemingly at all. So
now, friends, I would like for you to hear this. For those in the back who missed it, you don't have to list every single day to make sales. Obviously, eventually your window and their strategies around it. But so many times, it's like, I don't know if y'all can tell. One of my biggest pet peeves is it like list. But there's other like things that go behind it in your business to make it work.
Right.
And it's more of a question for you. Oh, I had a question real quick before we get to that one. So when you move, what are you going to do? Because you're not going to have her anymore. Are you going to try and find someone else?
So actually, our plan tentatively is to have her continue, but mostly shift into sourcing because she'll be down here in the wonderful, beautiful South. And there's different kind of stuff that, you know, is easy to find and access around where she lives. And that's really different than the Midwest and the type of stuff and the places that I already like to source when I'm up there. So she'll probably be sourcing more than anything. And maybe like once a quarter we'll meet up and I'll get all that stuff from her. You know, she can go ahead and photograph it and everything and have all the photos like ready. And then once it gets to me and it's in my possession, then it gets listed. But we haven't like test driven that yet, but that's kind of our tentative plan because, you know, I want to focus on higher quality inventory. She's going to have to spend more time to find better stuff.
But it'll be stuff that you can't get.
Right. And it will be like, we're not churning, you know, 400 items through her door, like every month. It might be more like, you know, 100 items or something. But then I'm also doing some sourcing again, which I was virtually not doing any this year because we were cleaning out an estate. So like, I'll be doing some sourcing in the Midwest. She'll be doing some sourcing here. And it won't be as important to replenish the number of items. That's why it's totally okay for me to sell down. Because also for the people in the back, or if you don't know anything about my store, I started out as having over 12,000 listings, and actually now I'm quite a bit below that because I've been selling stuff down to prepare to move. But still, I feel like I could comfortably sell down to 7,000 or 8,000 items and still be like totally fine. Yeah, and then at that point, we're just replenishing what sells with higher dollar things.
Yes. Oh, that's exciting. Keep us posted, because those will be all new processes that you're going to have to figure out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, our plan is to be frequent flyers to maybe not literally we'll drive to, but like frequent visitors to Georgia. Like all of my husband's family is here. We have a lot of friends here. We've lived here for 11 years. Like it's home to us too. And we both have flexible / remote work. So we can travel, back.
And if we're going to get inventory, it's a business expense now, right?
Exactly. So we'll be around like pretty frequently. And so I think it'll work out that way if we can kind of plan it,
And then you can take the photos too, so you don't have to like find someone and train someone.
Right.
Ooh, okay. We do have some questions. We keep chatting. I don't get to chat. Well, we chat, but like, we're not going to do this for 3 weeks. We got to get it all out.
I know, that's so true.
Would you recommend? Oh, that's the one we just asked. Question. Oh, yeah. I appreciate you putting question, because it does help me know which ones are for us.
This is a real question.
You guys chatting. When you put your eBay store on vacation, how do you handle pirate ship international shipping? Do you edit through business policies? Do you use that? I don't either. So we cannot answer. Maybe Duncan can.
Sorry, Carol.
Duncan. Yeah, we don't use pirate shipping.
Yeah, I do. I mean, just in general with business policies, like when you put on time away, it just adds handling time to whatever your handling time is in your business policy. So like, I never have to go in and change my business policy. It just works together, like for like all of my shipping policies. So I imagine it would probably be the same, but I don't know for sure because I don't use that.
Yeah, I don't know. I keep it all in eBay. Like my stuff is never significantly cheaper in pirate ship to make it work.
Me neither.
To use it and go outside.
Yeah.
There wasn't a glitch. Did you have a glitch with bulk shipping? Have you started bulk shipping yet?
No.
For 80 items? Seriously, Anna? Okay, that has to be your first thing you streamlined in January. You can't do them all at once, but even if you broke it down to 20 at a time, it was
what happens is I get all geared up for like a Monday or something where there's like 80, and then I forget to do it.
You need to do it on like the day when there's like 5,
right?
And do it a couple times to build it, like to figure it out.
Maybe I'll make myself a note to do that like on this Monday, and I'll report back in January about how that goes. But yeah, I literally just keep forgetting to try it. Sorry.
Oh, it saves so much time. Have you heard anything about eBay cart issue? I couldn't add to cart for a few days until I reinstalled the app. I'm curious how widespread this is. Duncan said and I was just going to say, I know they're making some updates, and it's technology. They're a big platform. There's lots of things going on. I heard there was also a glitch with, this is why I asked about bulk shipping. My friend was having an issue with bulk shipping. She wasn't able to do it, but then it's back now. So I think it was just a glitch. Are you wanting to sell to Canada or US site? Oh, yes, that's a great question, Tommy. Thank you for bringing that up, because they did say they're in Canada. Did say there's another reason to sell on eBay, because Poshmark's Canada. It's like you can only do to Canada, or I think you can ship across, but the shipping's really shipping wise and buyer wise, eBay would be the better platform for sure. Oh, here we go. Any questions, friends? We got about 10 minutes left. Can regular sellers have growth advisors? Is this something we can pay for from eBay? Not that I know of.
Not that I know of either. And I'm not sure what the plan is for that, because I think it's a fairly new program in general. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know what their plan is for like how to put people in the queue for that.
I've talked, because I didn't even know what a growth advisor was until we went to headquarters, and I was like, excuse me, what?
Yeah, right.
Like 2 years ago when I like needed it, and I still like had one with them, but I was like, this would have been so helpful. Like, I've been in talks with them, and I have, anytime anyone will listen to me at eBay, which isn't a lot, like I'm obviously not like a big influencer on eBay, but whenever I have meetings with people, I tell them that having that or some kind of mentorship, and they said that like obviously they can't release anything or say anything's coming until they have like all their ducks in a row. But they did say that is on their agenda for next year, to have more support for newer sellers, like maybe some mentorships or like Zoom calls where you can like attend and have like people teach you like something. I don't know what it's going to look like exactly, but it is on the radar.
I'm thinking about all the like networking rooms and stuff in eBay Open. Like, I mean, some of them were great, and some of them were like someone just monopolized them the whole time and was like really crotchety and awful. Like, it was hit or miss. It was hit or miss.
From the one person that I talked to, in their vision, it was more structured.
Yeah,
so more like one of the classes. I don't know. I can't say to it, but it is on their radar. You cannot have a growth advisor now, but it's on their radar to start helping sellers a lot more in different avenues than they do now. Sarah, I just started adding clothing to my store. I need a coaching, Sarah, help. I review eBay stores. I also review your listing quality report. So if you guys pull it and you have no idea what it means, it's all on my website. Okay, one more question. Oh my God, that's not one more question. We have lots more questions. Okay, let's do you?
Oh wow, I didn't scroll. Yeah, that just same thing just happened to me. Anyways,
I know. I thought we were at the bottom, and then I was like, nope, we're not. Do you cross list on Poshmark and eBay? And if so, do you price each item the same on both platforms or differently depending on each sites? So Anna does not. I use List Perfectly. If you want to try it down below, it's 30% off if you use my coupon code. I do get, an affiliate kickback for it, but you also get 30% off. I use it to cross list, and when I say I mean my virtual assistants use it. So everything starts on eBay, and then it goes over to Poshmark. It starts on eBay first for a week because my average sale price is higher on eBay. So I want to give it a chance to sell higher there. I do, because my virtual assistants do it now. I used to do it, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Essentially, is what it was. And it's not rocket science. Like they list, so they already know how to do it.
Yeah.
But the pricing can be somewhat different. So my process now is they take it from eBay to Poshmark. They look up the comps on Poshmark, and if it's within like a range of the same price, they just list it at what eBay was.
Just leave it.
And then if there's a couple, like I have a couple right now, there's like 3 of them that she listed, and she's like, these are really different. Can you take a look at them? So then I go in and decide. I will change them to comps on Poshmark because sometimes things go crazy. I do have a video on if you should cross list though, so check that out. How are you Yay, this is a great question. How are you selling consistently if you're not listing? Isn't this part of the eBay algorithm?
Isn't it?
It's not.
It's really not. But sort of asterisk, it's not. So what I'm doing instead is, I'm not sure if you were here like earlier when Sarah was talking about this in a different context, but basically for my whole store, I sell similar. So I try not to let any of my almost 12,000 listings get to be older than 90 days. Even better if they're, not even older than 30 days. But the whole thing about selling similar is that you're not just like refreshing the same listing that's there. It actually like stops the old listing and creates it as a new listing. So it has a new listing ID number, and it's, as far as eBay's back end is concerned, it is a new listing. So obviously, like we were kind of talking about this before too, like if you're relisting crappy listings that have like poor quality photos and not a very good title. I mean, although I did sell another item that had a 3-word title this week, and I thought of you.
But it's an outlier. It's not
what I say, not what I do. Anyway,
don't buy her book because her listing titles are just kidding.
They're not usually 3 words, but that was an error that happened in bulk that I never went back and cleaned up. So I just kept moving forward. But anyway, that does happen. But yeah, it's, if your listing quality is good, then, selling similar, in my experience, significantly, helps you not have to list. And honestly, like, I'm glad that this is true because I didn't even know about that until earlier this year. I've been doing this for over 5 years at this point, and my whole strategy is based on list it and forget it. So now the forget it comes with the asterisk of, but sell similar every 90 days so that the things stay fresh. Because, for me, like as I'm going through the next phase of my life, which is hopefully going to include having small children in my house, I'm not going to be listing a whole lot. And I'm literally banking on this, 11 to 12,000 item stash of things to continue to consistently sell. And thankfully, Sell Similar is kind of what makes that happen. So
I will say, as far as the algorithm part
yes,
goes, and I've done a couple of videos on this. The algorithm's not like eBay has 4 boxes and you have to check each box. The purpose of the algorithm is buyer behavior. And
yes,
for eBay to make sales. And so if you think about it, if you kind of change your mindset of like, what is the purpose of the algorithm?
yeah,
So listing every day helps because people sort by newly listed. People
yes,
in collectibles, like Duncan probably has followers who are like, oh, he just listed something new. I've already looked at all 400 that he has. Oh, this is a new item I've never seen.
yes,
Like a lot of collectibles will, or like people who are searching for like that one Louis Vuitton bag that doesn't get listed.
hardly ever.
People are sorting that way. People are shopping that way.
Yeah,
But then also from the algorithm perspective, listing new items, it doesn't check a box, but when an item gets listed as a new item on eBay, eBay looks at it and says, hey, I want to make money. I want, like, I'm eBay, I want to make money off of this listing. How do I make money? Well, people have to see it.
yeah,
I don't know that this is a crap item or a good item. I'm going to put it in all kinds of different places and figure out where people are going to click, where people are going to buy, where it's going to go. And so when you first
right,
list an item, it gets a ton of exposure because eBay is trying to get it sold.
right,
If you have an item and let's say, and this is where like doing your item specifics and doing everything correctly, if you have an item and it gets put in places that no one wants to buy it, like let's say you have a Colorado Rockies hat and you list it as a Broncos hat, so it keeps getting put in front of Broncos, no one's going to buy it because it's
right,
not what you're actually looking for. I don't know why that came up because I don't even follow sports. I think I have like something back there that I saw. But if you don't, if it keeps getting put in places that no one wants to buy it, it gets suppressed, right? And that's where like the algorithm goes in. It's not like you have to list every day so eBay shows your items. You list every day because then your items will get shown.
So that's a brilliant explanation. My question for you is, have you tried a direct comparison of listing new items every day versus selling similar, that same number of new items every day? Have you done that yet?
I haven't. Sorry, I kept getting a glare. I have not. I'm going to do it I wanted to hit my goal this year. So I was like, I'm not going to do anything new. Well, that's not going to happen. But now it's the holidays. So January or February, probably February, because January the kids are still home and I have to like get my life back together. I will be doing some scenarios.
Yeah. I want to try that. I mean, because frankly, I have been keeping my whole store fresh, but I've been bulk selling similar, like by, hundreds up to like, I'll do 2,000 in a day or something. So I'm not consistently listing every day. Yeah. So I just thought about that. Like, I'm not even doing that in a best practices way. If we're sort of swapping out one for one, a new listing with a sold similar listing. So maybe that's something that I can do to try to get to my goal, is like do, 10 sell similar every day to like make, because I am not benefiting from that buyer behavior stuff as much right now because I'm not consistently listing every day. Like I've done that before, consistently listed, a few a day instead of bulk listing my new stuff. And that has helped. So like, I know there's something to that, but because I've just only been doing sell similar, I haven't even thought about it. So
yeah. No, when I think that, and the one other caveat that I didn't say, it's not an algorithm. It's if you have all these items and no one's buying them and you sell similar to them, you may just have crap items that nobody wants. Listing new items is not an algorithm, but listing new items, you have more knowledge, you have better buying. Your items might just be better items. And so you're selling those, right? So like only selling similar if you have crap is not going to help.
Right. And you have 12,000 crap items. You never know.
Yes. I do have to go get kids. So let me see if there's other questions that we can answer quickly. I need courses. I have courses. I do have 2 courses, friends. It's more about like the numbers and the analytics and how about if you understand that and you understand how things work, you can figure it. Like Seller School is for free. You can figure out how to do a listing. Courses are a waste of money, Duncan. I should have read that. The course does come for free if you join my membership though. So you get the course and then you get like one-on-one support for me. Do cross lists on poshmark. Oh, we already did that one. Did we already do that one? I think are we good? Do you see any questions?
Yeah, no, I think that's right. Blah, blah, blah. I'm looking down. Da, 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 da. When do we go live next? Duncan wants to know.
Second Friday in January. We're taking the first Friday in January off. And then in theory, we're going to go live the second one, but Anna's in the process of buying a house and moving, and I have little kids that
so many things.
Yeah, my 5-year-old's teacher had COVID, and then they have 2 teachers. The other one had strep. Like, I'm just awaiting our fate.
The illness to descend.
Yeah. So in theory, it's the 2nd January. In practice, just keep an eye out. I do have them on YouTube right now, so you can remind yourself. But they might get canceled depending on.
Yes. Well, just keep your eye on it. It's a moving target, but we will be back as much as we can starting the 2nd Friday in January.
Yes, exactly. And I am still doing Vlogmas, so there is still a video coming out every single day through December. And then I do have videos in January planned out as well. I don't know that I can maintain every single day. That's been a lot.
That is a lot.
It's a lot, especially because I'm taking 3 weeks off. So I had to get like 21 videos up.
That is mind-blowing to me.
It's a lot, but I like talking and I like teaching, and that's going into the new year. All right, I do have to go get children. Everybody have a happy holidays. Always feel free to send me DMs and ask questions. Anna's on Instagram as well, and a great contact. Obviously, she's very knowledgeable as well. And I hope I hope everybody has a wonderful new year. I am doing a discount on all of my products. You can.
Oh, nice.
45%. Let me see. I want people to have access to them. I don't have it. I'm going to put it on my Instagram today. But everything is going to be 45% off going into the new year, so you guys can get set up with your numbers and we can start 2023 off right.
Yes. So, let's do it.
Have a wonderful holiday and happy